welcome to Mrs. Code's kitchen again. I've got a little helper with me today.
Hello.
This is my own little girl. This is Charlotte, and today we're going to make something that we proper missed. Every time we go to Meadow Hall, there is a particular shop that sells cookies. You may know the one. What is it?
Millies cookies.
Millies cookies that we really like, and you literally can't get enough of them once you've bought them. So today we're going to make something a little bit like Millies cookies. Not exactly the same, but the best that we can do. Similar. That's right. So you're going to need, for this particular recipe, some self-raising flour, and it's 110 grams of self-raising flour. You're going to need 2 types of sugar. So we've got brown sugar here, and it's that soft. I'm keeping you awake. I thought you did a yawn. It's the soft sugar that looks a bit like, what would you say, like sand? Like wet sand, isn't it? What's that? What's that sand stuff that you play with that goes everywhere?
Kinetic
sand, yeah, it's a bit like that. And then we've got some bog standard white sugar, which if you watched my video from yesterday, you will know that I've run out, so I've had to pinch a bit from the tea, sugar and coffee jar. So we've got 60 grams of the brown sugar and 50 grams of the white sugar. Now, if you haven't got any of these things, so if you haven't got self-raising flour, because flour is a bit difficult to come by at the moment.
Yeah.
So if you can only get plain flour, that's fine. It will work for this recipe. If you wish, you can look at you nodding. Yes, absolutely. I know lots about flour. Sorry, I apologise. So if you've only got plain flour, you can put a little bit of baking powder in, and equally, if you can't get the brown sugar, you can use all white sugar or all brown sugar if you want, but it's just got to add up to 110, so it's the same as the flour. And then I've got some soft margarine, and that's 60 grams. And lastly, I've got an egg, of which we need half.
How are you going to do that?
Don't know, what do you think?
Like crack it into 2 bowls?
Maybe. We could just crack it into 1 bowl and just use a bit.
That would work better.
That would work. Also, we need chocolate chips. We haven't got any chocolate chips, but what we have got in this house is about 1 billion of
Easter
those,
eggs.
haven't we?
Easter eggs.
The Easter Bunny was not under lockdown, thankfully, and he came to our house and
Because
delivered
he's
lots
a key worker.
He is a key worker, you're quite right. So I'm going to use that instead. You could just use a bit of chopped up chocolate. If you've got those little bags of chocolate chips, great. 100 grams. All thereabouts. Right, let us begin. I've washed my hands, I've tied my hair back, I've got an apron on. So Charlotte, she hasn't got an apron on because we haven't got one.
I've got a dinging thing on.
You have, and it's clean, so
Yeah.
we'll be alright. So, we're going to start off by mixing the butter and the sugars together, which is both sugars, yeah, which is called the creaming method. There you are. So, it's a good idea before. Go ahead, babes. Good idea before you put the sugar in at all to kind of just soften the butter up a bit, because it makes the next bit so much easier. Are you doing it?
It's stiff.
Is it?
Mm.
This is one of those recipes where soft margarine from the fridge is actually alright. So I've just used stock margarine. You can use butter if you're being fancy, but to be fair, we haven't really got much of that at the minute either. So we're making do.
You try.
Awesome. Thank you, I will. That's it. The old bingo wings on it. So, we'll just bang them both in, I think. So there's the white sugar. There is the brown sugar. Don't put kinetic sand in it.
No, don't. It's kind of poisonous.
And then when we cream, I noticed Charlotte's doing a really good job at mixing there. But actually, it's better, Charlotte, if you try and use...
This side of the bowl.
That's right. See, you do listen. If you use the back of the spoon against the side of the bowl and smoosh it together. Smoosh, technical term.
Smoosh it. Makes it loads easier.
It does. It smells nice already, doesn't it?
I like the smell of sugar.
Yeah, I think everybody does. If you want to make these a different flavour, you could add nuts if you wanted to. You could add cocoa powder to make it chocolatey. You
Millie cookies double chocolate.
Yeah, you could add chocolate, cocoa powder and then white chocolate chips. That would be very nice. In fact, it might be a bad idea to Google what types of flavours Millie's cookies come in. Can I take over for a minute? And try and copy. We tried Rolos, didn't we, the other week?
Yeah.
Was that a success?
Well, it kind of melted, and so it wasn't really a success.
Exploded and melted a little. However, if you can call exploded and melted Rolos a failure, you're not welcome in this house, because actually they tasted quite nice. They just looked weird, didn't they? Right, so what we've got now is we've got that.
Brown sugar, white sugar, and butter.
Nice. So we're going to get this in it, which is going to be quite difficult. But what we want to do is we want to put the least amount of egg in it as we can. So bang all that in. No need to sieve it or anything. I'm going to give it a little stir around. Now it's going to go a bit weird now. Ooh, we're all getting a bit. It'll go a bit strange now, and it'll go dry because it's you've not got the egg in it yet. But that's all right, as long as we've got this partially stirred in. That should do. That'll be all right, I think, darling.
Okay.
So now we need half this egg. We're going to crack the egg.
I can crack an egg.
You can crack an egg.
I can crack an egg.
I think you should.
Okay.
How do we crack an egg?
You smash it on the side of the bowl.
Well, smash is excessive. Yeah.
You tap it
Tap
on
lightly.
the side.
Tap lightly.
On the side
Yeah.
of the bowl and
Yeah.
get your thumbs and open.
Right, let's have a go then, shall we? Hooray! Absolutely perfect. For the purposes of live video, we shall get rid of that in there. There you are. Now, raw egg.
I'll go
Can
get
that,
the
yeah,
white.
can that be dangerous at all?
Yes.
It can, because on raw egg there can be something called salmonella. Not a lot in today's day and age, because actually we do a lot of work to try and vaccinate chickens against that. Well, what we'll do, sweetheart, is we'll wipe it afterwards with some antibacterial spray. But that's okay. We're not going to use the
I'll go
table
wash
for
my
anything
hands.
else. Yeah, you wash your hands. So we just have to be a bit careful with it. It's a bit like raw chicken. It's particularly dangerous to pregnant women or older people or people who are a little bit under the weather anyway. And with this horrible virus that's around, we don't really want to add anything else to the mix, do we? So I have to be really careful with it. I took the liberty, while you were away washing your hands,
To whisk the egg.
to whisk that up a little bit. So what we're going to need is we're going to need a bit of it.
So like half, as you said earlier.
Yeah, but if you try and gloop it in from there, it all likes to stick together. So what I thought we'd do instead is I thought we'd add a little bit of time with a spoon. So if I add a bit of egg, are you alright to mix it in?
Yes.
See how difficult it is to
Yeah.
just add a little bit. Right, so I think we'll start with maybe 2 dessert spoons and then we'll see. Whew, it doesn't want to gloop. There we are, that's it. Right, try that then.
Okay.
So we want it to be a bit like Play-Doh. Okay, and all come together. Does that feel like it's doing anything? Do you feel like you might need more?
Maybe a bit more to stick it together.
Okay. I had anticipated this. So, oh dear. Proper glue it. Do you know what? I am actually going to do that, but I'm going to be very careful. Ooh. Oh no! Slightly too much.
Yeah.
Slightly too much. Let's see if we can rescue a little bit.
That's why you don't pour it in.
Yeah, that's why we don't pour it. I've rescued a little bit.
Yeah.
This happens when we're baking, doesn't it, sometimes?
Yes.
It doesn't always go to plan. Would you like Mummy to wade in, or have you got it?
I've got it.
Oh, wait. What have we forgotten?
What? This chocolate!
Should we put that in now then?
Yeah.
Right.
Should
I think.
smash it?
Well, I think that needs to be have a good. Go on.
Ready?
Yeah.
It's correct.
God help your first boyfriend. Hey. Right. So we're gonna just crush it up like that, and then we'll just pour it in. Do you think, Kurt, you ought to just sample a little bit to check that it's not poisonous?
Yeah, I'll just. Nope, not poisonous.
Awesome. Good to know. Right, so actually we can resume stirring now.
Yes. With some chocolate chips.
I think possibly we could have done to break them up a touch more, but you can do it with your spoon. That's it.
I'll do it with
Do
the.
it with the spoon. Fabulous. Right, can I have a go? Fabulous. So, this is the bit where, like I just did before, if you put a bit too much egg in, too much egg in,
Too much.
it can get a little bit over wet, and we don't want that because they'll spread all over the tray. So, the best thing to do, as with everything in cooking, is a little bit of moderation, little bit at a time, and then you'll find that it comes together and it's the right consistency. And I can see now, my little gorgeous helper, that's you, by the way.
You just flicked it off.
I did. I didn't mean to. Are you going to put it? You're going to put it back in the bowl?
That's wasting.
Oh no, yeah, we can't waste any. Yeah, so I can see now that that's coming together, which means I'm going to get my hand in and make it so that it's all.
It's like a Play-Doh consistency now.
It is. Good word. Yeah. So what we're going to do now is we're going to split it up into bits. We found before, haven't we, Charlotte, that this makes slightly too much for one tray.
Yeah. So we've got 2 trays.
We have.
1, 2.
So if I give you this half, and you can make 8 out of that, and then I'll do this half. May I have that other tray, please?
Or you can just make a big block of.
You could make one giant one, couldn't you?
Giant one.
So I'm going to split it in half. All the mothers out there now are like, oh my god, this looks really messy.
Yeah.
Are you just going for little bits?
Yeah, I'm just going for little bits.
Right, I'm going to split mine in half, half again,
Half again.
and half again, which makes 8. For anybody who's watched me cook before, when there's 8 of something, I tend to do 6 like a dice, and then 2 in the middle, and that's my usual.
It's a bit sticky.
I think you're doing a much better job than me, to be fair, but then again, that's nothing new. Right, so mine are done, kind of.
Yeah.
Incidentally, you can freeze these now.
Can you?
No, before you cook them, you could freeze them like that in little blobs. And then if you have a friend round, do you remember that time? Remember the time that friends could come round? Remember that?
Yeah.
Remember people?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you have a friend round, you can just take them straight out of the freezer and then pop them in the oven. So I'm going to bake those when we've finished popping them out. There's mine, look, on my tray, a little blobs. I'm going to bake those for about 10 minutes. And if you can be brave enough to bake them so they don't look quite done, and when you look at them in the oven, they look like they've not set yet, if you let them come out and cool at that stage, they will be genuinely nice and bendy like the real Millies cookies. If you want them a bit crisper, then you just bake them for slightly longer. In any case, it's about 10 to 12 minutes.
If you've got any more extra, you just add them onto the cookies.
I'm not sure your counting's right there. How many have we got?
1,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
12. Oops.
Yeah, well,
Oh well.
yours will take slightly less time because they'll be smaller. It's fine.
Should I add these two together?
No, I think it'll be fine. So, thank you very much for tuning in today. I'm just going to recap the recipe for you. So we had 110 grams of self-raising flour. We had 60 grams of soft brown sugar and 50 grams of caster sugar. We had, pardon darling?
White sugar.
White sugar, yeah. We had 60 grams of soft margarine and then half an egg approximately and some chocolate. Yes. So hope yours turns out as well as these are looking. And I shall post a picture of the finished article in the comments. That's it.
Yes.
Bye.
Thank you for watching.